Hi, Timea here with SiteHub's June product updates. This month we are excited to introduce a powerful new way to automate document creation using forms and placeholders. You can now generate fully customized documents in just a few clicks simply by answering a few guided questions. Let's dive right into the updates. First up, image and icon placeholders. These make it super easy to customize documents and presentations with the right visuals. Just choose your images or icons and SiteHub automatically inserts them in the right spot and size when you download your file. Let me show you how it works. Users can now easily enhance their slides or documents with the right visuals before even downloading the file and without needing to manually adjust anything. Image and icon placeholders are especially useful for things like employee introduction slides, CVs, product overviews, or case study templates, basically any document that requires consistent, well-placed visuals. In this example, we have an employee slide with both an image and an icon placeholder. All the user needs to do is choose the image or icon they want to use, and when they download the file, the visuals will be automatically inserted in the correct size and position. Please note, in some cases, images might get cropped in order to fit the image placeholder ratio and size. Now let's see how admins can set this up from the SiteHub add-in. First, we'll create an icon placeholder. Click the Manage dropdown and select Placeholder Identifiers. Under Placeholder type, choose Icon and click Create New Identifier. Then give the identifier a name, and just remember to wrap the name in square brackets so it works correctly. If you would like to, you can also add an optional description for clarity. If you want to limit which icons users can choose from, you can add filters using labels. For example, I add the departments tag here so my team only sees relevant icons. Once done, click Create. To link the identifier to an icon in your slide or document, just click the icon shape, and when you hover over your new identifier in the add-in, a link button will appear. If you ever need to remove a link, just click Break Link. The process for image placeholders is the same. Select Image as placeholder type, then create a new identifier and optionally add filters using labels. Once created, just click the image in your file and use the link button to connect it. Please don't forget to update the file afterwards to ensure the placeholders are saved and active. And that's it. Now when end users open the file, they can simply choose the image and icon they want, and everything will be downloaded with the correct visuals already in place, formatted and ready to go. Next, let's talk about section placeholders. They are ready-made sections you can add to your documents so you don't have to start from scratch every time. For example, if your documents need change based on the product you are selling, users can simply pick the right sections to include. Or if you are working with contracts like employment agreements, some parts might differ depending on the person's role, and users can easily insert the sections they need. Section placeholders can be a huge time saver and cut down on manual editing. Let me show you how it works. Section placeholders are used to insert ready-made sections that end users can pick and combine to build fully customized documents without having to start from scratch or spend time on heavy manual editing. They are especially helpful when different roles, teams, or products require different types of content. For example, if you are creating a product one-pager, each section placeholder could represent a different product or service. Or if you are generating an employment contract, you might include different sections depending on the employee's role, like executive or non-executive. Executive contracts might include sections about bonuses, stock options, or leadership responsibilities, while non-executive contracts would focus on general duties or standard classifications. Instead of managing multiple versions of the same file, you can use section placeholders to give end users flexibility to choose exactly what they need. To set section placeholders up, first download the document you want to add the section placeholders to in Manager mode. In this example, I'm working with an employment contract. Right now, you can see that I've left some notes in the file for my team showing where each role-specific section should go, but I would like to remove those manual steps. To do that, I'll insert section identifiers into the sections with yellow highlights. I'll place a new identifier directly where I want the section to be inserted using square brackets. Next, go to the Manage dropdown in the add-in and select Placeholder Identifiers. Under Placeholder type, choose Section and click Create New Identifier. Give your identifier the exact name you used in the document, including the square brackets. You can also add a description if needed, and then click Create. Now I'll create a separate Word document for each of the variable sections, like one for the executive and one for non-executive. Just copy and paste the relevant content into a new file, name it clearly, and save them. Once all the identifiers are added and the variable sections are removed from the main document, update the file in your library. After updating the file, go to Manage View and upload each of the individual section documents. To keep things organized and relevant, we recommend labeling each section file. For example, I'll add the label Work Schedule and Classification, which matches the name of the section in the main contract to both the executive and non-executive documents. Later, when I set up the section placeholder filter, they will appear as options under the same placeholder and can be used interchangeably in that part of the document. Labels such as tags can act as filters, but only if admins assign them to a specific section placeholder identifier. That way, when users go to download the file, they will only see the most relevant section options tied to the placeholder instead of browsing everything in the library. And if you want to make sections optional, just toggle on Make Input Optional under Additional Settings. In this case, it's not needed since the user must choose either executive or non-executive. Now let's see how the new section placeholders look like for end users. When an end user downloads the contract, they will be asked to choose the appropriate sections. Thanks to the filters we added, they will only see the relevant options, keeping things clear and focused. Section placeholders help your team build fully tailored documents with ease, reducing error and saving time on manual editing. Next, let's talk about document automation with forms. This feature lets you quickly generate tailored documents by simply answering a few guided questions. As you complete the form, the system automatically fills in the right content using placeholders for sections, standard text, images, and icons, building a fully customized document in seconds. This automation speeds up your workflow, minimizes manual effort, and helps ensure your documents are accurate. Let me show you how it works in action and how to set it up. You can now automate document creation using simple guided forms. Instead of manually editing templates or replacing content, end users just need to fill out a short form. As they answer the questions, the system automatically pulls in the right content, like text, images, icons, and entire document sections to build customized documents. This not only streamlines the process, it also reduces errors and ensures that every document is accurate. For example, if someone is generating an employment contract, their answers like location or whether the role is executive or non-executive, part-time or full-time, can determine which sections and details are included. It's a fast, user-friendly way to ensure documents are always accurate and personalized. To get started, make sure your document is already set up with correct placeholders. In this case, we'll look at automating an image placeholder, standard text placeholders, and section placeholders through a form and simple placeholder logics. Start by opening the document settings of the file you want to automate. Scroll down to see an overview of all placeholders linked to the document. To begin building your form, click Edit and Update, then click Add New. Forms are built using a simple question and answer structure. The first thing you'll want to do is give your form a clear descriptive title. Click the pencil icon, enter a name, and hit Save. Next, begin adding questions that gather the information needed for your automation. In this example, we'll ask for the employee's location, since it impacts the cover image, governing law, and jurisdiction. We'll also add questions about whether the role is executive or non-executive, and whether it's full-time or part-time, as the answers to these questions will also determine which sections are included in the final document. To add new questions, click the plus icon next to the question. Continue adding as many questions as necessary for your document logic. You can also apply conditional logic to questions, allowing some questions to appear only when certain answers are selected. For example, if you only want to ask whether someone is full-time or part-time after they indicated that the role is non-executive, click the logic icon next to the question. In the logic editor, click Add New. Make sure to name your logic clearly so it can be reused or referenced easily. Then define the condition. If the answer to the executive or non-executive question is non-executive, show this question. Otherwise, hide it. You can also pre-select default answers. This is helpful if a particular choice is most commonly used. The user can still change it as needed. To preview how your form looks to end users and test any logic you've applied, click Test Identifiers in the top right corner. Now that all the questions and answers are in place, it's time to create placeholder logics. Let's start with the image placeholder. In this example, we want the cover image to change depending on the employee's location. Click the logic icon next to the image placeholder, then click Add New and name your logic. Here we'll define 3 if logics based on the location question. If the answer is Denmark, insert the Denmark image. If the answer is Mexico, insert the Mexico image. And if the answer is Portugal, insert the Portugal image. You can either create separate conditions for each or use the else rule for default fallback. If you'd rather allow end users to choose the image or skip inserting one, you can configure that as well using the drop-down options. Next, let's automate a standard text placeholder. These can be set up to automatically insert a specific word or phrase based on user-selected answer, be filled manually by the end user, or be skipped entirely. In this case, we'll automate the placeholder to insert the employee's location based on their answer. For example, if they select Denmark, the word Denmark is inserted, saving time and reducing manual typing. You can also reuse logic across multiple placeholders. For instance, we can use the same location logic for another placeholder, like for example jurisdiction. Since jurisdiction should match the selected location, simply apply the same logic to this placeholder. No need to create a new one. Now let's look at the section placeholders. In this example, we want to insert a benefit section that's only for executives. To apply the logic, click the logic icon next to the section placeholder and select the question, is the role executive or non-executive? If the answer is executive, insert the executive benefit section. If not, use the else rule to skip it. Once you set up all the necessary logic across your placeholders, you can test everything again using the test identifier button to make sure it works exactly as expected. And that's it. This approach significantly speeds up document generation, reduces errors, and ensures every output is professional and personalized. And finally, two-factor authentication is now available to help keep your account even more secure. You can enable it in your account settings to add an extra layer of verification at login. Let me walk you through how to set it up. As a manager, you can now enable two-factor authentication to add an extra layer of security to your account. To set it up, go to Account Settings, navigate to the Security tab, and locate the two-step verification section. Enable two-factor authentication here, then save your settings to apply the change. Once the two-factor authentication is enabled, users will be prompted to set it up the next time they sign in or access a page on SlideHub. The process is simple. They scan the QR code using an authenticator app such as Google or Microsoft Authenticator and enter the code generated by the app to log in. If someone on your team loses access to their Authenticator app, managers can easily reset their QR code. To do this, go to Users tab, open the specific user's profile settings. Under the Permissions table, locate the Reset Two-Factor Authentication QR Code section. Then click the Reset QR Code button. A confirmation pop-up will appear, reminding you to notify the user that they'll need to scan a new QR code. The next time they log in, they will be automatically prompted to relink their account with an Authenticator app. To disable the two-factor authentication, simply return to the Security tab within Account Settings and disable the two-step verification login. And that's it. This additional layer of security will strengthen account protection and support your team's continued safe access to SlideHub. That's it for this month's updates. We hope these improvements help you streamline your workflow, minimize manual work, and create tailored documents faster. If you'd like to learn more or ask questions live, join us for our product update webinar on July 3rd. We are running 2 sessions at 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. Central European Time to fit your schedule. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have feedback or questions, we'd love to hear from you. See you next time!